3.99%. You've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren Stanton. The city of Muskegon has approved plans and set the dates for two of the Lakeshore's biggest summer events. Muskegon City Council members unanimously approved event requests for Muskegon Bike Time and the Lakeshore Art Festival this summer, both of which will take place in downtown Muskegon. The Lakeshore Art Festival will take place July 5th and 6th. Dates for Muskegon Bike Time run July 18th through the 21st. The town of Scottville will swear in a new mayor today after its old one resigned following an arrest. Mayor Joseph Baxter's resignation will be presented to the Scottville City Commission today. Baxter decided to step down after being arrested a second time in connection to an impaired driving accident from last October. As part of his punishment, Baxter must submit to random alcohol tests. Our partner, the Ludington Daily News, reports that Mayor Pro Tem Dick Mackey will serve as the interim mayor until a permanent replacement is found. And Governor Rick Snyder begins a two-day economic summit in Detroit this morning. He'll host a meeting with business, academic, and government leaders at Cobo Center. The goal is to develop new ways to boost job growth and connect Michigan residents to jobs. The latest labor report shows Michigan's jobless rate at 8.9%, while the national average is 7.9%. Keeping you informed online, I'm WZZM 13's Lauren Stanton on NewsTalk1090.com.
Hi, my name's Bob.
Hi, Bob.
I see this ad on TV. Says I can reduce my debt by 50%. I call. They told me to stop paying my bills, stop talking to my creditors. They'd take care of everything.
I gave them thousands, but most of it went to their fees.
Getting out of debt is neither quick nor easy. There are those who will tell you anything to win your trust.
I'm more in debt now because the fees and interest on my cards kept piling up.
Talk to your creditors directly, or to find a nonprofit agency near you, visit debtadvice.org.
Car number 7 is pulling into the pit.
What's my winning diabetes plan?
Start taking action now for diabetes.
Medications.
Got them. And my insulin supplies.
Exercise.
Most days.
Blood sugar level?
On target.
Diet?
Eating healthy.
A1C under control.
Managing diabetes, including controlling blood sugar, is a team effort that requires a plan that's right for you. For more information, visit standfordiabetes.org.
A public service of TCOYD made possible with support from Sanofi Aventis, U.S.
Here's the official News Talk 1090 WKBZ forecast. Snow showers this morning and then a mixture of rain and snow for the afternoon. A high of 37, southeast winds 10 to 20. A lake effect snow advisory starts tonight at 6 p.m. Otherwise cloudy with rain and snow in the evening, and then windy and remaining cloudy overnight, a low of 24. Those west winds 25 to 35 miles an hour. Still windy tomorrow with occasional snow showers, 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, a high of 28. Those west winds 25 to 35. News Talk 1090, the talk of Muskegon. Talk of Muskegon.
It's time for Talkin' Muskegon on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon. It's time for Talkin' Muskegon on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
Wow. What an intro. You like that?
We are on.
We're on.
It is Talkin' Muskegon. Hey, and there is no John Van Wyck, and there is no Brian Worsham this morning. Both are on vacation. Instead, you've got kind of a familiar crew, though. We've got me, Jim Riley. We've got Oscar Osbo, the man who put the O in radio. And, of course, we've got hidden off on the far, far wing here, the left wing, interestingly.
As far away from you as you possibly can.
Baker College President Lee Cogin. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, John and Brian will be back on Thursday, and we're giving them some much well-earned time off, given the huge compensation package that they get from the Clear Channel organization.
John's over in Florida in a hot tub with Dwight, which is kind of a scary thought.
Which is a very frightening thing. It reminds me of the Kathy Bates hot tub situation.
And Brian's shooting ducks, isn't he, or something like that?
He's killing little innocent birdies.
He's got his little Duck Dynasty duck collars. And
there we go.
He's ready to go.
That's right.
Does the station have to approve all that before they go?
The station did approve it, but just be forewarned, if you're a bird or a hot tubber, watch out.
Yeah, really.
The boys are back in town.
If the White and John are coming your way, move out of the hot tub.
Yeah.
That's right. But this is still the Talkin' Muskegon show, and we are going to be talking Muskegon. It's Celebration Day, too. There's a great website out there that has little-known holidays, and I guess these may not be necessarily holidays, maybe the Hallmark holidays, you might call them. But today is Awkward Moments Day, which certainly would be appropriate for this group. It is, and for those of you who maybe are harboring a grudge, Forgive Mom and Dad Day. I know Oscar's not very happy that he's only got one kidney, and we were talking earlier about perhaps selling kidneys.
And that's his parents' fault?
Well, yeah, he lost it as a child.
I didn't know where it was going.
Well, he lost it. He just told me as a child.
Your parents had your kidney, Oscar?
We don't know.
They sold it on the black market.
No,
they got a good price.
Right about that same time, the Osbo family did buy a yacht, so one doesn't know.
And they didn't invite me either.
There we go. And for those of you who are interested in manure and waste, farm waste and things of that sort, it is National Biodiesel Day.
Oh, there we go.
Excellent.
So
I was following one of those guys coming into the station this morning. So
put some poop in your tank, and you can drive around. It's also National Wildlife Week, which certainly seems a little incongruous that we've got one of our mainstay co-hosts, Brian, out there killing the wildlife.
Brian probably didn't get the memo on that one.
No, he probably did.
I bet he missed that.
He did not get the memo. Hey, and one of your favorite Jeopardy answers, I guess it would be the other way around, Jeopardy questions, the birth anniversary of Grover Cleveland. Now, why is Grover Cleveland so famous?
Because he was elected to two non-consecutive terms as President of the United States.
You know, when you've got a college president
ding here or something, you know.
Yeah, I tell
There's
you.
a bell we should ring.
Why are you not, don't we have the Jeopardy theme song here? Well, anyway, yes, the 22nd and the 24th United States President, Grover Cleveland. He was so popular they named a city after him, and a character on Family Guy also.
Oh, really? I had no idea that was the link.
Yeah, that's a minor, the very small pieces of information that are critically important to those listening out there. Hey, as John starts the show off with the temperature, and it is still 23 degrees, and it's cold out.
Yeah, it is.
20, and the wind chill's about 11.
And, it's breezy, and although it is sunny as can be, which I suppose is why.
Hey, Jim, the good news is spring arrives Wednesday at 7:02 a.m. for those of you who are counting down.
7:02.
7:02 a.m. is when spring arrives.
Now, is that an equinox of some sort?
That's the vernal equinox. And
vernal.
Yes, which means the direct rays of the sun will be right on the equator at 7:02 a.m. on Wednesday morning. That's what that means.
Wow.
Okay, so if you're interested in heating up the fastest, zip down to the equator at 7:02.
Because the high here, I think Wednesday is expected to be 25, the low 19. It'll feel every bit of that probably as well. So.
Whoa. Well, let's keep that in mind.
Spring is coming.
Well, we are all dressed up here, and as Oscar had suggested.
Well, you're still dressed up in your St. Patty's Day apparel there or something.
Well,
that's Michigan State stuff.
There is no Michigan State stuff on me at all, anyway. But it is all green. And, yes, it's hanging over from St. Patty's Day. And, of course, from the grand excitement of the NCAA basketball, men's basketball tournament. The fact that both Michigan and Michigan State are in. I don't believe there's any other Michigan university in there, is there?
I don't believe so either. They're getting a lot of love from the odds makers, both Michigan and Michigan State, believe it or not.
Well, I would say that either one could, if everything falls in the prescribed manner, they could certainly make it to the Final Four. Hey, a couple of other things that did happen today, and this I bring this up, and I'm sure everybody remembers that in 1937, the London School in New London, Texas, exploded from a catastrophic natural gas leak, killing over 300 students and teachers. Now, the reason I bring this up, and the reason I think that this is important, is that today, if that were to happen, you can be sure that you would have senators and congressmen and certainly people making frowny faces in the media saying we have to ban natural gas, or at the very least we have to stop it from all buildings that children and teachers would enter until we can somehow put some changes and things of that sort. And needless to say, this is a horrible event, but they didn't react in the manner that we do today, which I'm not so sure that there's significant progress there. But I do
a lot of comment coming from the two of us here.
Yeah, we're
kind of staying out of that.
Think about it though.
Natural gas, is that right, Oscar?
Right.
Well, internationally, you have countries that have been shutting down their nuclear power plants purely on the basis of the tsunami that took out one plant or a group of plants in Japan. So, overreaction seems to be the mode of the day on some things. Underreaction certainly when you're spending yourself into bankruptcy, that doesn't seem to be all that important. But hey, how about investing yourself into success? And Lee, you've got some good news.
Yes, the college announced over the weekend that we are going to begin. Actually, the construction phase begins today at the college at our main campus on Marquette, and we are going to be beginning construction on a 33,000 square foot health science lab center. We're building essentially a new wing on the south end of our campus, 2 stories. It's going to be about a $7.2 to $7.4 million construction project. Obviously, some more equipment expenses in there, so it'll be closer to $8 million by the time it's done. And we're going to take all of our health science labs and we're going to put them under the same roof for all of our health science programs, which range from nursing and surge tech to rad tech, which is X-rays, our occupational therapy, physical therapy assistant, pharmacy tech, massage therapy. They're all now going to be under one roof, and it's going to be a great advantage for us to allow a lot more collaboration between those health science programs. So a lot of people don't realize it, but 43% of our students are enrolled in health science programs. So this serves a huge segment of our...
Clearly the growth market
absolutely
in the country.
All my daughters, MAs, and my one daughter's becoming a LPN. And,
yeah. Well, of course, Honey Bunch recently retired from the Trinity Health... they keep changing their name, but the Mercy Hospital group.
Jim and I want to be on the list for when the massage therapists start. And
I can arrange that for both of you, and we can probably bring in a special team.
I hit my Medicare soon, as long as it's free, as long as young people are going to pay for
it. Interns just rubbing our back.
That's right. This will be an internship just for you, Jim. The Jim Riley internship,
named after me.
That's right.
Oh, there you go.
But we're very excited to get started. It'll open up by the fall of 2014. So we start the construction phase now, and be a big step forward. But you're exactly right. It continues to be a growth area, and regardless of what you may think about the Affordable Care Act and some of the issues it creates, there doesn't seem to be any sense that healthcare is slowing down. In terms, if anything, all you hear are stories about how they're going to be, they're going to need more healthcare workers.
Well, just for instance, like you say, with my one daughter becoming an LPN, she took her forever to get through school because she was on a waiting list forever to try to get into to do these things. So Baker doing that's going to be a big.
Oscar, that's an interesting point. I didn't realize that the support folks. We keep thinking about doctors, of course,
right?
But that the support folks are having a hard time finding programs to get into. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and the employment rate for these programs is through the roof. Often 100%, and really our capacity. We have a capacity to produce more graduates in some of these programs. The problem is all of these programs require a clinical piece for graduation and for training and for education, and so we're usually capped by the number of graduates we can produce because of the number of clinical spots in area hospitals. For example, we've had students go as far away as the UP to do a clinical. Most of them do them right here in West Michigan. But I think when you look at the growth that's going to be needed in the health science area, it's not capacity on the part of the universities and colleges to produce them. It's more things like what I just talked about, getting the access to the necessary clinical pieces, and so it's only going to grow, and so it's an important investment for us. Obviously, it will free up some space on our main campus. We're basically taking what right now those labs occupy about 18,000 square feet on our campus, and this facility is going to be 33,000 square feet, and it's solely lab space.
Well, are you a couple quick things because we've got a break coming up here. Are you going to be expanding the number of spots, like as Oscar had suggested that it's a little tough to get in?
No, the spots are going to stay the same right now. And, and the only way those would expand is again if we find ourselves access to more clinical spots.
Okay, because you don't want to educate somebody, you don't want to have them invest their time and money and then find that they can't take the next step.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got to watch that very carefully. And because most of those programs are accredited by the governing bodies in their particular disciplines, they put those caps on us.
Okay. All righty.
Okay, well, we got to take a break here.
We'll take a break.
I love cocktail party trivia like this. From 1939 to 1942, there was an undersea post office in the Bahamas. Fortunately, Radio Juniper always has a smart and interesting guest to help offset my lack of knowledge about things that actually matter. Tune in to Radio Juniper every Wednesday morning at 9 on News Talk 1090 WKBZ to learn some important stuff and some not so important stuff. Guess which ingredient I'm adding to the soup?
Baker Auto and Marine Trim is the Lakeshore seating and upholstery experts, plus a whole lot more. Stay warm this winter with remote starters and heated seats from Baker. Use your tax return to get those accessories or custom work you've always wanted. Baker specializes in fleet service. Business owners, call Baker today to get your entire fleet of vehicles restored. Local dealers and body shops get their work done at Baker. Baker Auto and Marine Trim does it all and has been for nearly 100 years. That's Baker with 2 Ks. On Pine Street in downtown Muskegon.
It's the sale Michigan's been waiting for 1 week only. It's Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's gigantic 30th anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street are packed wall to wall with vehicles. And right now, get up to 30% off your new car. Trade-in values are at an all-time record high. Buy low and sell high. Get up to 30% off your new car. 0% financing and up to $10,000 in discounts and more. Right now, get a 2013 Chevy Silverado, only $198 a month, plus 2 years free maintenance. Or a 2013 Chevy Cruze, only $79 a month. A huge selection of Chevy Malibus at $109 per month. And Chevy Equinox, just $119 a month. We want and need your trade. And values are at record high levels. Plus, get up to 30% off the price of your new vehicle. Every vehicle sold is backed by the Benton Low Price Guarantee. Only at the Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street, Muskegon. The time to buy is now.
Look how sad your smartphone is because it doesn't have iHeartRadio. It can't listen to 1,500 live radio stations. It can't make its own custom music stations. It can't even use the Perfect 4 feature. No wonder it's sad. I may weep myself. But you can cheer that phone up. Download the iHeartRadio app now. It's free at iHeartRadio.com. iHeartRadio is now available on Roku.
Sirens, jet engines, car horns, leaf blowers. Today's world puts our sense of hearing on overload. Luckily, there are places we can go to refocus our senses. Our national wildlife refuges. It's amazing how much more you'll hear when you just take a minute to listen. Like a stirring chorus of songbirds warbling in the treetops. Or the industrious beaver slapping its tail in the mountain pond over baritone bullfrogs. Or the pulsating beat of a pileated woodpecker looking for a meal. When you hear these things, you're hearing the world the way we found it. With over 500 refuges across America, you don't have to go far to make a special connection with nature. Learn more at fws.gov/refuges. That's fws.gov/refuges.
The full moon lights the silver rails winding around dark mountains and over steep gorges of jagged rock and one freezing cold rushing black mountain river. I wish there was enough time to describe all of the funny twists and turns that led up to now, but there isn't enough time because there's a ticking clock and the 2 passengers we care most about don't know anything about it. To see what happens next, visit read.gov to read The Exquisite Corpse, a riveting adventure pieced together by John Cheska, Shannon Hale, Daniel Handler, and other popular authors. Explore new worlds. Read. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Through April 1st, save up to 30% on your favorite destinations. Book now only at Hotels.com, finding you the perfect place at the perfect price.
Now, back to Talkin' Muskegon on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
And we are back. We are Van Wyckless and Worshamless. And those are the new verbs for the Talkin' Muskegon show, at least for the next 3 days. Yeah. We've got Baker College President Lee Cogin, Oscar Osbo, and me, Jim Riley, here. The regulars will be back on Thursday. But we've got two guests here, fairly well-known guys in Muskegon County. You've got Ken Berman and Tom O'Brien. And you guys, Ken, we were talking off air. You're on a little bit of a mission here. Why don't you explain to people what your organization is and what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, Tom and I formed an organization a little over a year ago called American Comprehensive Learning, and our objective out of the gate was to fit the gap left behind with the downsizing of human resource and training departments and companies. Very quickly, we got pulled into a program request from the Veterans Administration here in Muskegon County, asking us to look at what can be done to prepare veterans for either education or work, which Tom and I had a passion for. I'm former military. Tom was born in khaki diapers. His father retired from the Marine Corps as a full bird colonel. So we had an affinity towards working with the veterans. We liked that idea. As we talked with the director of the VA here in Muskegon County, we found that there was a real need to help take the veterans today and help them transition from military life to civilian life.
You gave me some statistics last week in terms of unemployment and things of that sort that really were staggering to me. Do you have those handy?
Unemployment right now with veterans is ranging between 34 and 37% in the state of Michigan.
Now that is stunning because, of course, typically there have been any number of efforts to give favor and priority to retire or to returning vets. This is a big deal.
Well, it's a phenomenal deal. When you look at the fact that Michigan is number 11 in the United States in terms of number of vets coming back to the state, and we're number 53 with services being provided to those veterans.
Now, wait a minute. Number 53. I understand that the President of the United States did say that he had visited all 57 states, but how do we get to be 53rd in the country?
We get our protectorates involved. So we're behind.
Oh, you mean Guam and
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Okay. So we are dead last.
Absolutely dead last.
That's wonderful.
As a wonderful example, the state of Indiana has 220 programs that they're currently funding to help returning veterans reestablish themselves in civilian life. 220 different programs.
So you have an idea that might help remedy the situation. And I would imagine, given our really pathetic showing so far, you would have been embraced by everyone, right?
Well, one would have thought that. We did the first thing out of the gate. We put together a program, or at least an outline of a program, and said, hey, this kind of makes sense. Let's treat this as though it's a triage program, and let's work to meet the health needs of the returning vets.
And when you say you mean your organization?
Yes.
Yes. But you are also working hand in hand with the local veterans leaders too, right?
Yes. They have, they're being wonderful. Dave Ealing has been a wonderful support person in that. We've got supports. I know Fred Birch has been a guest on your show, and Fred has
Captain Fred.
And Captain Fred's been wonderful with us as well. So we naturally made the next progression, which was to approach the state and try and take advantage of some of their help and guidance and support. And the first person we met with was Major General Smith, who's responsible for veteran services in the state, and he really had no interest. Then we talked to
Ken. Could you tell us exactly what help did you ask for? I mean, when you went to him, what exactly were you asking him to help?
Well, initially out of the gate, our hope was to put together a program that would be 10 weeks in length and about 400 contact hours. One day a week, the military personnel would be in a classroom-based situation, learning about everything that they didn't learn while they were serving our country. The next objective was to get them out in the field and get them working as volunteers so that they would have as much presence as possible. And
that's a great concept, just the volunteer thing. If you cannot get a real job, one of the worst things you can do is sit home for a month or 2 months or 2 years.
Well, and it's a huge challenge because we've got a group of veterans coming out right now that aren't joiners. They're not joining the VFW. They're not joining the American Legion. From their perspective, they don't have anything in common with these individuals. Mm-hmm. And so they do the next best thing, which is try to get a job. Well, there aren't any jobs in Michigan, so that's a challenge for them. The next step is, well, I'll go to school and take advantage of my GI Bill. But many of them aren't prepared to go to school. So if you look at Muskegon Community College as an example, they've got 180 vets currently enrolled at the college, which is great, except that we've got 17,000 vets in Muskegon County. So if you run the numbers, they don't come out the way they should. We've got a bunch of people that are just disenfranchised. They're sitting at home. Some of them are doing things to medicate themselves because they've been through things that they can't talk about. They don't have the support group that they should have, and nobody is helping them get there, including those people that are by appointment supposed to do something about that.
All right, so you've found clearly that there's a problem, and there's a problem here in Muskegon County, and you have come up with a plan to remedy the problem. You've got the support of the local veterans organizations here in town. You've approached one person who was not helpful. What's the next step? What are you trying to do? Because clearly you're not giving up on this. You're plowing ahead.
Well, we got the endorsement. We approached Muskegon Community College and had no support over there.
Interesting.
Our next move was we talked to Bob Ferrantino, who's the president of Montcalm Community College, and he brought us in.
That's on the east side of the state.
Middle of the state.
Okay, middle of the state.
And we met with Bob and the entire team over there, the curriculum team over there. They beat up on Tom and I for a couple,
at least half a day.
And it culminated with getting support from Montcalm and an endorsement from them. In fact, they want to house the program and run the program. So we've got a community college that's right on board with us. They're prepared to run it wherever we want to run it.
So you could run it in regions, in counties?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds like it's something that could be tailored to those areas that are really specifically in need. It sounds like a great program now. Sounds like people who care would be on board. Why are you here now, then?
Well, we approached first State Senator Jeff Hansen, and I consider Jeff a friend, but Jeff and his team have made it apparent to us that they don't want to support this. We then approached Bill Heisinga's team, and their issue with it wasn't the value of the program, but the fact that we are not a non-for-profit. So we've got, again, these people that are vested in this, that should be vested in this, that just can't get into the whys and the wherefores, and that's
so the fact that you're not a non-profit, which that's interesting. Did they explain to you why that mattered? The fact that you were a real business that was actually trying to accomplish something good for veterans, whether you're profit or non-profit, they made a differential for that? Distinction?
Well, for whatever reason, because we look at the college, and the college is a non-for-profit, so we do, in fact, have a non-for-profit working with us. The challenge that we've got is, for whatever reason, that nobody will share with us, no one really wants to be held responsible for making a decision outside the box. Our program doesn't look like something that everybody else has, but in the state of Michigan, we only have 20 programs that we're running to support vets.
Well, no, we have two local state representatives.
Yes,
Marcia Hovey-Wright and
Colleen Lamonti.
We have not
have you been in contact with them?
We have not had the opportunity to talk with them. have started the communication process to chat with some other individuals to see if perhaps there's more interest from the Democratic Party than there is from the Republican Party. But frankly, we're both stunned and surprised by the support we've been getting.
On the positive side and clearly on the negative side, if people want to help you achieve this, seems to me a very worthy goal, what should they do?
We would encourage you to call Jeff Hansen's office. We're told, one of the things that they told us was that no veterans have contacted their office.
Well, that matters. Yeah, you have to show that you've developed some grassroots support.
Absolutely. And phone number for anybody that wants to contact Senator Hansen's office is 866-305-2134.
And what should they say when they call?
Well, we have the Veterans Immersion program, and we can get copies of that to anybody. The Veterans Administration, I know, just sent out a blast email with an attachment describing our program. So we would encourage them to contact either the VA or they can contact Tom or I. If you want to contact me most easily, my office number is 231-981-5005. I'd be happy to get some information into your hands.
Do you have a website where people can go and get a little information on this?
You know, we're not that sophisticated, and we probably need to be, but we haven't made it that far.
Okay, but you do have a phone number. Give your phone number one more time before we go to break.
Sure, it's 231-981-5005.
All righty. Well, guys, thank you so much. Definitely a worthy cause. The unemployment numbers for Michigan veterans is staggering. It seems to me, especially just on a purely pandering political basis, that you would think that the politicians would be all over you on this, both Republican and Democrat. So far, they don't seem to be. Maybe, folks, if you make a phone call, either to the Senator Hansen or to your organization, Ken, maybe we can get some change here.
That would be great.
Thanks so much for coming by.
Hi, I'm Tom Sanaki, and it's polka time, and a perfect time to gather your family together for a good, clean, wholesome family show every Saturday and Sunday mornings right here on the Talk of Muskegon with the Polka Melodies. News Talk 1090 WKBZ Muskegon, WOOD HD2 Muskegon, and newstalk1090.com. Come on!
It's polka time, polka time, polka time, polka time. Happy polka melody.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren Stanton. 2 of the 4 people aboard a private jet that crashed just south of the Michigan state line are dead. The jet was apparently experiencing mechanical trouble when it crashed into a neighborhood near the South Bend Regional Airport yesterday afternoon. It struck 3 homes, becoming lodged in one of them. It's not known if anyone on the ground was killed in the crash. 2 high school football players from Ohio convicted yesterday of raping a teenage girl will spend a minimum of 1 year in prison. A judge found Malik Richmond and Trent Mays guilty of assaulting the 16-year-old after a party last August. Moments after the judge's decision, Richmond and Mays apologized to the victim. Mays got an additional year for taking a nude picture of a juvenile. The pictures were posted on Facebook and Twitter. Firefighters continue to fight a wildfire that has destroyed dozens of cabins in Tennessee. Authorities evacuated everyone living in nearby cabins as dry and windy conditions spread the flames. They say several other residential homes are in danger if the fire jumps a nearby ridge. And the city of Muskegon has approved plans and set the dates for 2 of the Lakeshore's biggest summer events. Muskegon City Council members unanimously approved event requests for Muskegon Bike Time and the Lakeshore Art Festival this summer, both of which would take place in downtown Muskegon. The Lakeshore Art Festival will take place July 5th and 6th. Dates for Muskegon Bike Time run July 18th through the 21st.
Keeping you informed online, I'm WZZM 13's Derek Francis on newstalk1090.com.
It's the sale Michigan's been waiting for 1 week only. It's Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's gigantic 30th anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street are packed wall to wall with vehicles. And right now, get up to 30% off your new car. Trade-in values are at an all-time record high. Buy low and sell high. Get up to 30% off your new car. 0% financing and up to $10,000 in discounts and more. Right now, get a 2013 Chevy Silverado, only $198 a month, plus 2 years free maintenance. maintenance. Or a 2013 Chevy Cruze, only $79 a month. A huge selection of Chevy Malibus at $109 per month. And Chevy Equinox, just $119 a month. We want and need your trade. And values are record high levels. Plus, get up to 30% off the price of your new vehicle. Every vehicle sold is backed by the Benton Low Price Guarantee. Only at the Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street, Muskegon. The time to buy is now.
Look how sad your smartphone is because it doesn't have iHeartRadio. It can't listen to 1,500 live radio stations. It can't make its own custom music stations. It can't even use the Perfect 4 feature. No wonder it's sad. I may weep myself. But you can cheer that phone up. Download the iHeartRadio app now. It's free at iHeartRadio.com. iHeartRadio is now available on Roku.
High school juniors, seniors, and parents. Everything you need to know about graduation is at Orchard View High this Saturday from 9 to 2 at the Muskegon County Graduation Expo. From parties to careers and college, plus $2,500 in door prizes. And it's all free. Don't miss it.
This is Mike McCready. You probably know me as one of the founding members of the rock band Pearl Jam and the band's lead guitarist. For the last 24 years, I've been living with Crohn's disease, a chronic and often painful digestive disease. Luckily, I have my disease under control. But so many of the 1.4 million Americans living with Crohn's and a similar disease called ulcerative colitis live day to day not knowing when their disease will strike next. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is committed to transforming the lives of those impacted by Crohn's and colitis toward a future based on well-funded, cutting-edge research. You can help by joining one of CCFA's 130 Take Steps walks taking place around the country this year. Make the decision now to join us and take a step toward a future free from Crohn's and colitis. Sign up today at www.cctakesteps.org. That's cctakesteps.org. Take a step. Register today.
Here's the official News Talk 1090 WKBZ forecast. Snow showers this morning and then a mixture of rain and snow for the afternoon. A high of 37. Southeast winds 10 to 20. A lake effect snow advisory starts tonight at 6 p.m. Otherwise cloudy with rain and snow in the evening and then windy and remaining cloudy overnight, a low of 24. Those west winds 25 to 35 miles an hour. Still windy tomorrow with occasional snow showers. 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. A high of 28. Those west winds 25 to 35. News Talk 1090, the talk of Muskegon. 3 inches of accumulation, a high of 28. Those west winds 25 to 35. News Talk 1090, the talk of Muskegon.
Now, back to Talkin' Muskegon on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
It's too bad we don't get to share some of the things we talk about off air, right?
It's perhaps too bad, but of course, that's the only reason we would be allowed to continue on the radio. True. Hey, this is Talkin' Muskegon. Yeah. Jim Riley. 8:38. The temperature still is chilly, 23 degrees. And Lee Cogin, Baker College's leader, czar, and emperor. And speaking of emperors,
he's wearing that Grand Poobah hat, too. Yeah.
Today is the anniversary of the date that the Roman Senate, of course, everybody just celebrated the Ides of March when Mr. Caesar decided to retire.
It's a bad day for him.
It was a bad day, A2. But on this day in 037, I got to love the...
It's a great year.
Did they call it Aught 37 back then? I don't know what they said.
They didn't call it 37, actually. That's what we call it.
They probably did. Anyway, on this day in 0037, the Roman Senate annulled Tiberius's will, and everybody, of course, is interested in Tiberius's will. But more importantly, they proclaimed Caligula to be the emperor.
Well, he was a law and order guy. So
he was a law and order guy in a similar manner that Lee Cogin of Baker College is actually no longer president. I believe he has been declared the emperor over the weekend.
President's good enough.
President is good enough. And I would say that it appears to me that you have almost emperor-like powers over there, because earlier when we were talking about this wonderful new science center, you're not going out and asking for a millage. You're not asking for the citizens of Muskegon to pay for this new building. You guys are paying cash for it.
Yeah,
you're writing a check.
Well, and we take a great deal of pride in that financial responsibility. We invested $11 million in the Culinary Institute of Michigan, which has been open now. Believe it or not, it's been open 4.5 years. Yeah, it seems like we just opened it, but
and a significant portion of downtown Muskegon too.
Yes, and so we take a great deal of pride. When you're a private nonprofit college, you have to watch your finances very closely, and you have to plan accordingly for these kinds of things. And so we're very thankful we are in a position we can move forward after multiple years of planning.
But there's another business for this. There's another business plan out there that has been embraced by many of our leaders, and that is spend every penny you've got, borrow every penny you've got, and then go cry that you need more money in a millage. Apparently that's not your business plan.
Well, I think when you think about it on a national scale, when you start talking about 1.3 trillion and 85 billion, people can't really wrap their mind around that. But when you're dealing in real numbers, like we are, you can start to plan accordingly. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because a couple of weeks ago I was at a gathering down at Hope College, and we were talking about the spiraling national debt and how people can't really visualize what it means to be 1.3 trillion dollars in debt and those kinds of things. And they said, just think about it as a family making $100,000.
Ooh.
If you had a household making $100,000 a year,
which is a pretty good income.
Which is a pretty good income. If they were spending at the same rate that the national government is spending, they would be spending $166,000 a year. So they'd have a $66,000 more they're spending than they're taking in.
Every single year, too.
Every single year. And if they had the same amount of debt as the national government has, they would be $600,000 in debt. So imagine you have $600,000 on your credit cards. You're making $100,000 and you're spending $166,000. Now, we in the room, as this was being laid out to us by a asset manager with Fifth Third Bank, you could wrap your mind around that. You could suddenly start to picture, wow, that's not smart. I don't need to be spending $66,000 more than I have, especially when my credit cards have $600,000 on them.
Right.
And so I think, and so we've just fully embraced the financial, responsibility as a college.
I'm going to take it just a step beyond, because I love the way that you stated that, because you're right, it does kind of bring it back into some numbers that we might be able to understand here. But there's another social issue there. On one hand, you are telling us, and truthfully, that you are educating younger people. Of course, you have some older folks there too, but you're educating people for the future. But you are not going out and putting massive debt in their way, so that once they are successful at a new career, once they are able to get out on their own and maybe make that $100,000 a year, that they're not stuck with debt that other people have spent prior to them. And that, to me, is what's so sad in our generation, my generation in particular, the baby boomers, is that we not just spent all of our money, we're borrowing money for our own use, and we're giving it, putting it on the tab, on the credit card of these other younger people. There's something wrong with that. But anyway, I just think, what a concept. Save in advance for your new building and then pay cash for it, rather than have to go out and
well, that's a team effort at the college, and from the leadership and from everyone, and we're really pleased that we're able to take that step, because it allows you to do these bold things. When you can pay cash for it, you feel a little bit more confident in making that decision.
Well, there's another group that has a somewhat similar idea. I don't know if you've seen the article, but I think it's really cool. One of the really cool things that we've got in Muskegon is the United States, the USS LST 393. One of, I believe, only two LSTs, that stands for Landing Ship Tanks, right up there in Muskegon Lake. One of only two that landed on the Normandy Beach during D-Day in 1944.
It's great history,
and it's great history, and just driving by makes me feel good, just to see that has been re-put together, and that we've got such wonderful volunteers. But one of the things that they wanted to do was the bow doors on these things open up, and then the tanks and other things would come off it after it had landed up on the beaches. And it's a big deal to paint those doors, and they save the money. They got the money someplace, and they've just finished, apparently, repainting those doors. That's not a big deal, but I just think it's kind of cool. They're not out there getting millages. They're not out there, saying we've got to have the government pay for this. They said, hey, we have a worthy cause. We've got something that we think you can believe in, and good people in Muskegon and throughout the country have ponied up, and they got that done. So that's, it's a minor little thing, but I like it. Hey, we got a big thing happening, and you're going to have to tell me what day this is. The forum.
That's today.
It is tonight. Okay.
Tonight at the Beardsley Theater.
Okay, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Beardsley Theater. The Downtown Development Corporation, a nonprofit group, is going to be, I imagine, sponsoring a forum to talk about this new farmers market. The reason I bring this up, of course, I think it's a worthy event to attend, and it's a big deal. It's become a very, very contentious issue, and there's a headline on MLive this morning, which I don't know. I think they must have a new headline writer, because they've had some kind of grabby headlines of late. But this one,
grabby, that's a good word. I was expecting something else there.
It's not about selling papers anymore. It's about getting hits.
Yeah.
Well, it is about getting hits, and you're right, because as they move from the Dead Tree version over to the cyber version. But the headline is, quote, "New Muskegon Farmers Market, not a racist issue," comma, Vice Mayor says prior to the Monday public forum. And, of course, there have been people who have said that moving this, the farmers market from its current location, which would be clearly, it's right, abutting an area that is primarily minority Americans, into the downtown part, or what hopefully would be the resurrected downtown of the city of Muskegon. And I just found it interesting that number one, that the question would have come up. Number two, that in this case it is Mr. Spataro from the city council, and his comment said this has gone in a dangerous direction. And I think it's important for us to appreciate, because it's happening in Detroit now, too, with this emergency manager. Certain people, and I believe them to be despicable people, if they don't like your politics, they will call you a racist. And quite often Republicans will run to the mattresses, run to the tall grass, run away, because they're frightened of being called racist. This is an equally despicable comment, as far as I'm concerned, and good for Spataro for at least facing up to it. And I think my personal view is, I think it's a rotten idea, but I don't in any way, shape, or form think it's a racist idea. And but there will be a group of people tonight. We'll see if they're going to play that card, that R card, tonight. Hopefully not. Tonight at the Beardsley Theater. 6:30 to 8:30. I'll be there. I hope. I think I'm going to record it, so maybe we'll throw that up.
It's an important discussion
on YouTube. Well, it is for a lot of reasons, because it not only talks about moving a long time, very, very successful, one of the few really unbelievably successful situations that we have here in Muskegon, city of Muskegon, but moving it into the downtown, which thus far, with the exception of a few people, hasn't been that successful so far. So.
What's a lever action? What's a pump? What's an automatic? What's a bolt action? Hi, folks. I'm Tom Gresham, and I invite you to join me as we answer these and other questions on Gun Talk. Gun Talk is the only show out there about gun rights, collecting, personal defense, sport, and recreational shooting. And, of course, we never forget about safety on Gun Talk.
It's Gun Talk, Sunday afternoons at 3 on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
Look how sad your smartphone is, because it doesn't have iHeartRadio. It can't listen to 1,500 live radio stations. It can't make its own custom music stations. It can't even use the Perfect 4 feature. No wonder it's sad. I may weep myself. But you can cheer that phone up. Download the iHeartRadio app now. It's free at iHeartRadio.com. iHeartRadio is now available on Roku.
I'm John Leslie, and I lost 123 pounds, and I've kept it off, thanks to the John Morgan Hypnosis Seminar. Lou Mayhew attended a session, and he quit smoking forever.
I was a non-smoker
smoker when I walked out of there.
A John Morgan hypnotist will be here soon. Call 800-735-6907. Hypnosis is safe, fun, and effective. You can lose weight and keep it off, or stop smoking forever.
I'm not quite sure what the effect was, but I know the effect was tremendous.
Join John Morgan hypnotist Mark Pasnek Thursday, March 28th at the Shoreline Inn and Conference Center, adjacent to the Lake House Restaurant in Muskegon. Smoking cessation is at 6 p.m., weight loss at 8 p.m. Call 800-735-6907 or visit johnmorganseminars.com. Sessions are affordable at $59.95.
After about the third week of not smoking, I realized that I could afford a new truck. I was so confident that I wouldn't smoke again that I actually went out and bought one.
Call 800-735-6907 or visit johnmorganseminars.com. That's johnmorganseminars.com.
News Talk 1090 WKBZ has a great way for you to save money. Up to 70% off on the items you want, like accessories for your man cave, fitness memberships, car care packages, GoPro cameras, and a lot more. Visit bidonwestmichigan.com, check out all the items, and make sure that you register yourself as a bidder. So check out the spring auction right now at bidonwestmichigan.com.
Having hospice care means focusing on living each day to its fullest. The sooner you call Harbor Hospice, the more we can do to manage pain and control symptoms. Today's hospice is about living well. People in hospice care visit casinos, eat in restaurants, and enjoy their grandchildren. Choosing Harbor Hospice early adds life to your days. It's your journey, your terms, our expertise. Visit harborhospicemi.org. That's harborhospicemi.org and take control.
According to the interwebs, an average New Year's resolution lasts 43 days. Ouch! That means right about now, you're probably knee-deep in chocolate and looking for a new New Year's resolution. Here's an easy one. Saving money. Like by switching to Esurance. They were born online and built to save people money on great car insurance. And that's so much easier than your old New Year's resolution. Whatever that was. Thank you, interwebs. Esurance. Insurance for the modern world. Now backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Not available in all states. Savings may vary.
Betsy, look at these sweaters. They look amazing on our girls.
Maybe.
Come on, what's wrong?
Suzanne, I have no business being in the store. I should not be shopping. Things are really tight. We're behind on our mortgage.
Listen, Bill and I had the same problem, and we got some really great counseling, and it was free. I'm going to email you the information.
If you even think you may be in danger of foreclosure, call the National Foundation for Credit Counseling today at 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org. Public service from the NFCC.
Big sisters, we need bigs, especially men. Start something. If you're a former big, start something again at bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Now, back to Talkin' Muskegon on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
And we are back 24 degrees, chilly degrees.
Wow,
just a
degree
few,
warmer. Wow.
Just a few days before spring sprungs on us. And I just got a few minutes here. You had mentioned, you had a little comment about the farmers market.
Well, just from the standpoint of an individual, and I'll speak from the standpoint of the college, which made an $11 million investment.
It's Baker College.
Baker College made an $11 million investment in downtown Muskegon with the Culinary Institute of Michigan. And obviously, while we have tremendous respect for the great success that the farmers market has had, I think it's important to have the discussion about the one thing downtown needs more than anything else right now in terms of vitality, and that's the foot traffic. And you can't reach that kind of economic growth. I mean, people equal economic growth and economic activity. You got to have people if that's going to happen, and we need that foot traffic downtown. And if this is part of that solution, great. But I certainly respect, and I think everyone who's already downtown and people who've already made an investment downtown certainly respect what a great thing the farmers market is right now and what it's been built into. In fact, we admire it. We're admiring it from afar, and it now looks like we're trying to jump on their coattails. But I certainly am intrigued by the prospect of more foot traffic being in that downtown area, that Jefferson sort of west area where you see more and more. We need more and more foot traffic.
Yeah, but Lee, you built Baker College built this Culinary Institute, and you created foot traffic. You created the foot traffic. The concept that if we build it, they will come hasn't worked for Muskegon. I'm not so sure it's going to work if they move the farmers market. And the simple reason is this: the people who built it were not the people, the grand city leaders of the city of Muskegon or Muskegon County. They were the vendors. of the farmers market.
Yeah.
They were the customers of those vendors. Those people paid every penny of it.
And those people, that has to be respected, Jim. I don't think anybody's going to be there making the argument that can't be respected. But just, you talked about the build it and they will come. Just to give you, we had our enrollment in our culinary programs went up 42% when we opened up the Culinary Institute of Michigan. So, yes, we brought an existing foot traffic that we already had at our main campus.
You provided a reason for people to come. You didn't take from a very successful location and move something that has been clearly fought on a variety of levels by the people who in fact made it successful, which are again the vendors and the customers. But I wanted to switch again, if we could, especially since I got the last word on this. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
You're the host.
No, we are co-hosts here. But I want to talk a little bit another very big issue that's being discussed right now, and I believe that there's a forum which unfortunately I don't have information on about the Captain Jack's, which is out at the Ovals on the beach. Been closed now for about a year, and there's a discussion about the commercialization. It's a term that makes me get a little skittish of the Ovals, because I know there was a time not that many years ago, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, where there was some discussion that we had to close the Ovals as a drive-through park and make it a standalone park, somewhat like you might have had at North Muskegon State Park, and needless to say, there's all sorts of competing ideas. But one of the things that has astounded me, if you owned Captain Jack's, which of course the building and the land essentially is owned by the city of Muskegon, you would make sure that your contract came up not just before the opening. I believe the last year when it bellied up was in May, so that if in fact that person can't reopen for whatever reasons, that you can at least have somebody slide right in. It seems to me you make your contract come up maybe in October, right at the end of the season. Okay, we are going to sign it, seal it, deliver it, so we make sure that we have a place on the beach. The people who've been managing this from the top have been the city leaders of the city of Muskegon. They have managed it so well that in fact we've had one complete season empty. We are here now, just a few days from April. They have no decisions that have been made yet. The outfit that had the contract to run it was $20-some thousand in the hole, and they settled for just pennies on the dollar. Seems to me that if it was the real money, the money of the county or the city commissioners, that they wouldn't run it in that same manner.
Well, probably not a bad observation. And again, though, you have to ask yourself, why are investors not running to this spot? What is it about this location that's making people a little bit? This goes back to what we were just talking about in terms of that traffic, that foot traffic. Bringing. Why are the people who have the money to make? Why are they not running the spot? And it's because it goes back to something Abraham Lincoln said. I think he said this. And it was something along the lines of, a town with one lawyer, he'll starve. With two, they'll thrive. There's a reason McDonald's and Burger Kings are right across the street from each other. Because they know they both benefit from bringing all that foot traffic in that critical mass together, because that you reach critical mass and you generate something special.
You mentioned the mall. Why does the mall succeed?
Well, in that